Couple questions. Anybody else? So, got 10 tournaments, good. If you have 100 players in a tournament, that'd be a big tournament, would you say?
Yeah, you
That-
know,
that'd be-
White Slumber is going to be our big one. They've got 144, but 80 to 100 is kind of your standard
Tournament.
Yep.
So, at that's 25 teams of foursomes, and at our rate, that's $40 a
40
person.
per person.
So it's about $4,000 a tournament.
Mhm.
Okay. And you got 94 memberships. They vary from dollar amounts.
From $100, which is the junior, all the way up to 1,000
1,000.
family.
So let's be generous and say they're 1,000. And let's say you took that to $94,000. And that plus your tournaments at $4,000, 40,000. You're at what, 134,000 about? Even if you went to 150, I think you said your goal on memberships. What's the projected revenue? I don't.
We've got in there, 435,000.
I'm sorry. How much?
435,000.
435.
Yeah,
So that's a deficit.
that's correct.
So I don't. Maybe the because I wasn't a part of the negotiations. I didn't look at the financials, but I know that 3 members said they looked at the financials and this was profitable. If during this budget, could you help us out where we're either spending too much or we're not making enough? Because from what I heard, I know I've been blamed for not enough tournaments, but I'm hearing from you, better be careful, you're going to get in trouble because you're supposed to blame me for everything. You're saying that the people are happy with you and how you guys are running it, Parks and Rec and the city staff, and they weren't too happy with the previous owner. And so we heard from 3 people that purchased it that it made money. So if they were unhappy with the previous owner, it made money. I'm just wondering why we're at a deficit. Can somebody help me out with that?
You want to, I'll be glad to
Sure.
answer.
Yeah.
I think
Please.
part of the numbers were, when you're doing the tournaments, the food cost was added in. And
Food costs?
with the current cost, the income came from that. There was an extra charge for the food.
Yeah.
So, because they did do some of their own catering there. So that makes a difference, because this obviously spokes as, we're not seeing anything this year, but I think going forward, next year, I think my understanding of the contract was there'd be 5,000 that they would be paying, and then depending on this season as far as the numbers, maybe more than that. So that is a difference.
So the-
But you
the
had
5,000?
every chance to go look at those numbers too, but you didn't.
Well, I didn't because I work for the public and I'm not going to sign a non-disclosure agreement and do
That's
secret deals.
An easy way out, I know.
It's the honest way out.
No, that was the easy way out.
So,
Actually, if I may, you asked for answers. I would give
yeah,
you
I'm just wondering why, because even,
Yeah, let me
let's do
try to
the,
peel this back a little.
right now it's 154,000 deficit, and even if we add in the 5,000, then we'll be at 149 deficit.
Yep.
And I know you guys don't know the answer to this, but we were told, and the public was told, that this was gonna make good money. No, I'm not criticizing you at all. I think you guys are doing a great job. I think Ken Hicks is doing a great job. I think the course looks great. I think the irony is unreal where members of this council were on the previous owners to abandon hole number 3, hole number 4, the tee boxes, only for the city taxpayer to have to come in and redo them. Quite ironic.
No irony
We were,
to it.
we were told that this was a moneymaker, turnkey moneymaker, and profitable. And I'm just asking for help of why we're showing a deficit, how we fix this for those that looked at the finances.
Okay, well, let me help you get there.
Okay.
All right. So with this deal, and yes, we did, 3 of us did go see the non-disclosure of the financials. And the reason for that is because well, a lot of information had been released when it was supposed to have been kept in the back room, and it wasn't. And so the
Transparency.
developer, yeah, well, you say transparency, I say mendacity. You take your pick.
Big word for you.
Well, you know, do you know what that means?
Yeah. I
Okay,
know.
well, good, then it was meant for you
It's
as an audience.
A
who won.
picture of you underneath it.
Well, the point is that this was, we were aware of how much money was netted in last year's golf course business model. And so when I saw that, if all things being were the way they should have turned out, we would have seen something similar, at least, I think, this year, with the course being run the way it is now, certainly with a lot more level of care and interest and energy that you all have brought to this, and I'm glad. Very pleased with the progress. It's been much faster, light speed toward the goal that we're actually trying to accomplish in creating a venue that's enjoyable for the citizens of Watertown. And yes, there has been a lot of division over this. For what reason, I think most of us understand. But the point is that it was netting out in 6 digits net after what we saw. I can't say because I'm still under the non-disclosure agreement. But the point is that it could have been repeated, if not exceeded, and what it is we saw was that it hasn't yet, but I believe that we're on trajectory to do that and more personally. For all of what it is that's been done, I'm pleased with the progress that we have seen from Parks and Recreation. Jordan, of course, what you've done up there is exactly what we had hoped for. Would things have happened more quickly? Had everybody been on board with this? Yes. But that's not what happened because of a political motive. Because that's the hope that this course failed for the reason that you would accomplish what you set out to. That wasn't my goal. It wasn't about politics. It was about what we could do for the city residents. And that was my only focus, all right? But it's become what it has. And for Mayor, for you to sit here and say, okay, look, it's not turning out the way we thought, well, I don't
I'm
know
just going
who
by
still
what
believes
was
that,
said
but
publicly
it's just.
and what the public was told.
The public has
Look,
been
you guys
told a lot
you
of
guys have
things.
done a great job.
Yes, thank
I
you.
agree. You guys have done a wonderful job. Again,
No but,
with
or
all
however.
the talking and stuff of what possibly, we heard a 6-digit net revenue. That means all the expenses are gone. I'm seeing a 6-digit loss. So that's a big difference. And we were told on the council, city staff, and most importantly, the city taxpayer was told this is a turnkey operation, and you're saying a 6-digit profit. So why are we seeing, and you guys don't have this answer, so I'm not putting it on you. From my colleagues that looked at these numbers, where is the budget off that we can show? Because when I look at the revenues in terms of tournaments, dollars on the memberships, and you said they range from 100 to 1,000. So I'm going on the top end of everything. We don't even get to paying salaries. So it's a question for the members that saw the financials and the expenses, and they told the public this was a moneymaker. Please help us out with a budget where we can fix these numbers
Yes.
that were off. That's all. That's what I'm asking
Well,
for.
the fact is, we are on a trajectory to do exactly that, and I'm so glad that Parks and Recreation and Jordan coming into the situation you have put blinders on to the political discussion that's been happening here, unfortunately, for one purpose, and that focus on your jobs and are doing an excellent job at getting us where we needed to be, and could have been sooner. And that hasn't happened for one reason, because of you, Mayor, all right? And we understand the purpose and the reason and all of it. It's, most things and problems here have been, the buck should stop at your desk. You want to be a strong mayor, you should
Blame
assume that.
Ken for the,
No, Ken has got his issues, and this is the thing. He has a job to do, the manager's doing the job, and you're directing traffic much, much more than what you ever should have the authority to. You don't have that authority, but you've done it anyway.
We'll get into your.
Yeah, well,
what do
we
you call
can,
it,
and we will,
tenacity?
trust me. But what I'm saying is, you guys have done everything I had hoped and more, because you're just not paying attention
Non-answer.
to the noise that's going on, as you see that's
So,
happening right here at this moment.
Mr. Mix,
Councilwoman
I know that
Thank
you and I
for
went
being able to do
to
that. I appreciate that.
the same meeting, and I think you had mentioned the numbers that we saw, that they would be different because we have to pay a different rate because of unions and so forth versus somebody paying minimum wage for people, that would be one difference anyway.
Well, yeah, it's not only unions, but our seasonal help up there is more expensive. It's more specialized. Mr. Hicks, Mr. Weller, not this Mr. Weller, but the other one, are more expensive than our typical seasonal employees because of their experience at doing this. Now, I would expect it'd be reasonable to earn 450 to 500,000 per year on it. We've got it in at 435. That's with a late start. As most of you probably heard, season passes are usually bought much earlier so people can get started on it. So I would expect that revenue to go up a bit. Our expenses are higher than probably what Mr. Lundy was paying.
Yeah.
But I think, as you're saying, we've got probably already a higher quality product than we had before. If at some point the council decides that, well, maybe we don't want it as high quality, then we can start cutting back on some of that.
Is that my fault too, for the high quality? Or no?
No, I
Just the
think
negative
we have
points.
good people here. I think that we should manage. Yeah, Mick's finished, all right, good. Agreed.
So the hope over time is that revenue goes up a bit, maybe we can get our costs down a little bit, but I wouldn't expect the cost to be going down if we want to maintain the quality we've got. And again, these are budget numbers.
that we aren't that much money.
So,